Miss Hawthorn's art room is unnaturally neat. Not a pencil or paintbrush or a hair on Miss Hawthorn's head is out of place. Her students sit in rows, silent and still, like eggs in a carton, painting green trees and red apples. And that's how Miss Hawthorn likes it. Into Miss Hawthorn's classroom tumbles young Willow. She colors outside the lines, breaks crayons, and paints fanciful pink trees and blue apples. What will Miss Hawthorn do? Willow is a story about creativity and the magical things that can happen when imagination is allowed to run wild. But most of all, it's a story about the profound influence of one little girl. Willow by Denise Brennan-Nelson and Rosemarie Brennan, illustrated by Cyd Moore. Even on the sunniest days, Miss Hawthorn's art room was cold and dark. Everything was in its place. There wasn't a single broken crayon in the bunch. The students sat in their rows, silent and still, like eggs in a carton. Except for Willow. Rosy-cheeked Willow twisted around in her seat to look out the window. "Face forward, young lady." Miss Hawthorn's icy blue eyes glared at Willow. Willow shivered. Miss Hawthorn's mood were dark as her clothing. One day in September, Miss Hawthorn handed out paper, paintbrushes, and paints. She told her students to make pictures of a tree and hung an example on the board. All the students painted trees with straight brown trunks and round green tops. Everyone except Willow. "Who ever heard of a pink tree?" Miss Hawthorn asked with a frown. "That's what I saw when I closed my eyes," said Willow. A few students giggled. Sam snorted, "Pink stinks." The next week, Willow carried her well-loved art book to school. In it was a picture of a flamingo pink tree painted by a famous artist. "Look," Willow pointed, giving Miss Hawthorn her most magical smile. Miss Hawthorn glanced at the picture, then turned away with a scowl. "Horrid little girl," she muttered as Willow skipped off. In October, Miss Hawthorn passed out paper, paintbrushes, and paints. She told her students to make pictures of an apple tree and hung an example on the board. All the students painted trees with straight brown trunks, round green tops, and red apples. Everyone except Willow. Miss Hawthorn pointed with a long bony finger. "Look at the mess you've made! And there's no such thing as a blue apple." "But that's what I saw when I closed my eyes," said Willow. Some of the students giggled. Sam laughed especially hard. "Yeah, who ever heard of a blue apple?" The next week, Willow carried her well-loved art book to school. She showed Miss Hawthorn a picture of a tree with blue apples. Then she reached into her backpack and took out a blue apple. "This is for you," she said, handing it to Miss Hawthorn. Miss Hawthorn's face turned crimson. "Horrid little girl," she muttered as Willow skipped off. Autumn flew past. Willow always seemed to be in trouble in Miss Hawthorn's class. "Stop daydreaming, Willow." "You broke another crayon, Willow." "Willow, put that book away." Most of all, Willow got into trouble for not painting things the way Miss Hawthorn wanted her to. "Stop, Willow! Put that book away! Too messy! No scribbles! No polka-dotted pigs! No snow ladies! No snowmen! No purple cats! Willow!" The day before winter vacation began, students brought presents for their teachers. No one brought a present for Miss Hawthorn, except for Willow. Miss Hawthorn stood at the window watching Willow and the other students board their buses. She wasn't in any hurry to leave. No one was waiting for her at home. Miss Hawthorn walked to her desk. She was surprised to see a gift. No one ever gave her gifts. "To Miss Hawthorn, my art teacher, from Willow." Miss Hawthorn slowly unwrapped the package. Nestled in a bed of tissue paper was Willow's well-loved art book. Miss Hawthorn sat holding the book for a long time. It was dark outside when she walked to the cabinet where the art supplies were kept locked away. Miss Hawthorn filled her arms with paintbrushes, paints, colored pencils, and a sketch pad and carried them to her desk. She flipped open the sketch pad and stared down at the blank page. Finally, Miss Hawthorn picked up a colored pencil. For the first time in her life, Miss Hawthorn doodled. Outside the wind howled, trees creaked and strained and broke where they could not bend. Snowflakes swirled upward. The lights flickered off. Miss Hawthorn sat in the darkness. When the lights came back on, Miss Hawthorn's fingers found the wet paint and spread it across the page. The school custodian poked his head into the classroom. He stopped, astonished at what he saw. Across town, Willow stood at her bedroom window, peering at the soft, fat snowflakes through her spyglass. After a while, she climbed into bed and fell asleep, wondering if Miss Hawthorn liked her present. When the students returned to school in January, everything was the same as always, except the art room. With wide eyes and open mouths, the students stood rooted in the doorway. Willow was the first to step inside. Behind a graceful willow tree, covered in paint from head to toe, a woman was painting. "Do you know where Miss Hawthorn is?" Willow asked. When the woman turned around, the students gasped. "Miss Hawthorn?" asked Willow. "Oh, I'm so glad you're here, Willow," Miss Hawthorn said. "Grab a paintbrush. I need your help." Delighted, the students did as they were asked. This time, everyone painted just the way they wanted, especially Willow. Hello, friends. I hope you enjoyed our story today. If you did, please click like and share this book with your friends. And don't forget to look for all the other books by Storytime with Lorelei. See you next time. Bye for now.